Keith, I'm happy to be here, but I wish I could be turning around and watching what's going on behind us. Of course, we have our pony races, and we interrupted the pony races for today at the races, but happy to have you, Keith.
Yeah, good to be here. Good to be here. Congrats to whoever
Yeah.
took down the jackpot super high five yesterday. Lucky winner of close to $304,000. A tremendous hit. I would have loved to seen the structure on that ticket. 7-1 leads the way. 7-5, 34-1, 38-1, 13
Wow.
to 1. What kind of
That's-
investment was made? But it was
Sure.
obviously worthwhile taking it down.
Exactly. It was the right investment. I think that's the only answer that we need at present. But yes, would love to know exactly how they, how many different, which number ticket that was that they put in for that huge hit that we have. Of course, let's take a look at the track and see what the ponies. Oh, we have no ponies on the track right now. Of course, I don't know if we're going to have heats later on in between races, but
Okay.
the track is fast. The turf is firm. There we go. I think we're waiting on the next race to come up. We'll try and keep you updated if we can. I'll see if Chris can just give us updates as we go along on the morning show. Of course, let's go ahead and kick things off with this first leg,
Okay.
this early pick 5 in this claiming 12-5, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 3-year-old and up girls. Scratch in the number 4. Keith, you had the number 7 on top. This is going to be Quit Quay in the barn of Leo Ambrosi. Angel Cruz gets the call, going for win number 2 in a row.
Yeah, and I know we're going to touch upon it a little bit later in the program, but just
Right.
don't forget everybody's going to be chasing that rainbow pick 6. That's well over $300,000 as well. So we'll get to that one. But yeah, talking about this opener, interesting little field to get you started. The Phillies and Mares going 3/4. We saw yesterday speed again. It's pretty prevalent on this main track. Opener yesterday, speeds went 1-2. I'm going to try to take that same angle in the opener. Quick K, a good effort. I thought off the bench. Came back for the 4-year-old debut last time for Leo Ambrosi. Showed some speed on that muddy sealed surface. Took back, made another move. Ran away from the field and just kind of coasted home late. She's going to step it up here first time against winners, and she's going to have a target. I don't think she's as quick as the 2's Cora's Choice. We're going to take a look at Cora's Choice. Her race back on April the 19th. Last time at Laurel on that sloppy sealed surface, Forgotten Gift just got away. Nobody could keep up, but I like the way she settled and closed in. Let's go back to a race where I think this is what she's going to show this afternoon. Speed up front. She took some pressure, battled to give way grudgingly through this final 1/8 of a mile. Cora's Choice down to the inside. She can get the 6 furlongs. 1 for 21 makes you a little bit, worried. But I think she's going to go a long way in here. But quick way for Ambrosi to kind of prompt, hopefully kind of rest command late in Edgeway. 7-2-1-5, closer to the heart. Really no chance last time. I think comes back 4th off of a longish type of break. We'll close in if things get heated up on the front end.
As mentioned, 7-2-1-5 for Keith Fusel there. Race number 1. Race number 2 starts as early pick 4. Let's take a look at that ticket structure. $24 for that early pick 4.
Sorry we cost you some money yesterday. We hit that pick 3, lost about $6. We took some shots, but unfortunately I thought we were going to have a little bit, bigger prices. Didn't until later in the card.
Right.
We'll try this pick 4 here today. 3 deep to get you started with the 3, 9, and 10. Not an easy race in race 2 on the turf. Race 3, 2-year-olds take the stage. We've got one with experience and Pure Majestic. A scratch for the 2. Going to leave me with the 4 and the 7. Race 4, 4 deep, 1, 10, 11, 13. A bit of a doozy there. Wrap it up 2 deep in the 5th with the 5 and the 7. Stormy Irish last off of a break will be my top selection. $24 for that early pick 4.
And it does begin in this first leg in this claiming 20,000 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won. 3 going a mile and 16th on the turf. Scratches in the 6 and the 11. Keith, you go with the number 10. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at your top selection. And good night, Nile, from that effort back in September at Pimlico here.
Yeah, over this turf course. This is a horse that came back off of a break from November of 22 to July of 23 and put together a couple really good races. I love this effort on the 17th. Inside the whole way, works outward, took a lot more play than we thought, almost a little steady off heels there at the 16th pole, but surges late to take command and go clear. Beat Summer Anthem recently, a decent third up at Delaware off the break. Home turf course for this one. Form kind of tailed off a little bit towards the end of 2023, but back I think, this is not a huge field. Can get position early, settle, and make that progression and possibly get it done at a square price for Milan Milosevic.
And I think at a square price is kind of the big key factor in here, just because you can fish around a little bit for
Yes, you
some
can.
others, like your number 9 and bail out for Horacio De Paz. Jamie Rodriguez gets the call here.
Yeah, respectable. Barna doing well the last couple months. Has kind of caught fire. Yet to get on board here right at this meet, but this could get him into the winner's circle, no doubt. Freshened up, a little bit of a drop. This horse has faced the right kind. Doesn't have a ton of speed, but we've seen you've been able to close on this turf course. This horse will bring a progression late. Invective, I think, has the race under its belt. Needed that. Love the position. Like the way this jockey, Sheldon Russell, is riding now, bringing a finish as well. Langley Avenue, a little bit of a bomb. Getting back to turf. Might spark this one back up. Has some speed, positional speed. Guapo-ness, I think, will be out early, along with the two Langley Avenue. I'm hoping we get a little bit of a flow because we're going to need it, I think, for the 9 and a 10 to close in, Callie.
No, absolutely. So we'll see if that happens and transpires in race number 2 to kick off that early pick 4. Race number 3 is a maiden special weight for these 2-year-old fillies. 4.5, so just under 5 furlongs on the dirt. We all go with the number 7, Belle of the South, first-time starter for Arnaud Delacour. On the outside, what's not to love?
Yeah, we're right on the same horses here. 7, 4, 5. We'll start it with Belle of the South. And if you're looking for win early family, you've got it right here. The Dam Summerland won her first 2 starts and then 8 of her first 9, if I'm correct. Kind of like the Queen of Hastings. There's a Hastings Park angle here going out to the northwest. Across the border. And you're looking at the second Dam. Won 3 of her first 4. I think this one's ready to roll. A decent work 2 back out of the gate at Fair Hill. The factor, only about 9 or 10% with the firsters. Let's see if this one's tied on for Delacour. 2 for 17 and 9 for 17 in the money with the 2-year-olds on the dirt, the first-time starters over the last 3 years. Stat here for the 4, Pure Majestic. This one has the experience of the group. The daughter of Tap at $100,000 purchase. Took a lot of play. Bet down to $1.30 to 1 in debut. A little issue out of the gate, but John Robb, second out with these 2-year-olds. Look at this stat. 4 for 15, 27%, 7 for 15 in the money. 2-year-old maiden special weight, second out. ROI, it's a good one. 443, half to a multiple graded stakes winner. Some speed in this family. I think this one will stretch out as well. Pure Majestic should be very tough with that race under her belt in race number 3.
I give you so much credit for not turning around and watching the ponies just finish up that last race. So with the 5, no question about it. Mike Trombetta, you mentioned. Shakara Fire. Tori Alba gets the call here. Tori Alba on a roll still as well.
Yeah, looking at the damn side, Great Notions obviously can win first out. The 2-year-old first is a little bit of a light stat for Trombi over the last couple of years. I actually like the other one a little bit better. That's scratched. But there's some earliness there in this family. Also, the 3, I'll touch upon Shakura Fire by Frisian Fire. Rizzi, this mare, has had 4 starters. 3 of them have hit the board in debut. Some okay works leading in here for Jose Corrales, who's doing quite well of late.
7-4-5-3. Let's go on to race number 4 in a claiming at 20,000. 5 furlongs on the turf for the girls, 3 and up. Scratching the 2 puddin' pie. Keith, you have on top for Jane Sibeli. Let's take a look at that past effort also with Michael Sanchez on.
Yeah, a couple races under her belt since November, that break from November to February. And I just kind of like this setup. There should be an abundance of speed in race 4. This 5/8 on the turf, got to get position into the turn. You don't want to have that overland trip throughout. This one should get some cover. Works well here, just kind of a churn late to run third. Only beaten a length in 3/4. Pino's little girl, that was I think first-time Kieran that got it done there. But look for to get position to make a run. I think this is a spread race as well. I like your top selection, Gift of Gab. Can she avoid the wide trip here? First time in the barn for Suzanne Statenis. I hope we didn't miss the wedding yesterday. Obviously, I did with the last sip. But Gift of Gab, some good efforts over this turf course. Had some trouble 2 races back. You see Future is now on the page. Positional speed, I don't know if she necessarily has to be right up on it. Going to take a good ride from Barbosa, a heady ride going into that turn, and to bring a finish through the last 3/16 of a mile. 1:11:10, Clouds of White works for me as well. I think Karamatis will fit the running style of this runner. And Princess Palmer, speed there. There's also serious speed. I should change it. I forgot to make this change. I like the 13 as well, fourth, whatever. A late draw in, right?
Right.
Second time, Georgie Delgado.
Right.
Tops is an 80 on the turf at Monmouth. Sometimes a little inflated there. Going to bring speed to the table.
Sure.
Right into the race early here in race number 4. Do not leave the 13 out of your exactest tries in Super. We'll adjust that. 1:11, 10, 13 for later.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
11 for 11, second after the claim as of lately, in the money.
Woo.
Yes,
Good.
so I have to include that one, and you can't argue with Georgie Delgado.
Yeah.
You can't. Sorry, I was thinking of Jorge Duarte Jr., but still, it looks good on paper. Race number 4, 1:11, 10-3 for Keith Fusel. Race number 5 starts that Rainbow Pick 6. Let's take a look at that carryover.
There you go.
With the ever so dramatic, Keith, I would have, if that DQ didn't happen, I would have had that ticket. Yes.
Darn.
But
I know you liked cloud music, a little drifty late.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, so it worked out. But anyway, let's get to today. Let's
Okay.
342,979. Taking a look at my ticket, just kind of I single in and I take a stab in race number 9 on the single there with Mystic Seaport, looking for win number 4 in a row for Jamie Ness. That's going to be an interesting race. We'll get to that in a second. I added the 13 in race number 8, the Forest Boys Tim Keefe, going to turns now from that 5.5 effort at Laurel. If I were to add anybody else, I would add the 8 in race number 7. I do think the Jamie Ness horse is going to be something you have to consider. I went for a more expensive ticket because you got a more expensive pool. So that's where I went. If you want to feel like subtracting one, adding one more, I would probably try and fit in the 8 there in race number 7 for a $48 ticket.
Don't feel bad about $48 for this ticket. You could have gone up in the 96 range, whatever, because I was discussing it with Vinny Perrone on the ride down here. And we played a little ticket yesterday, and I think our ticket that we discussed to feel like we had some confidence in hitting this.
It's like $120.
No,
right?
it was like $1,200.
Oh my gosh!
I'm
that's
serious.
Great.
I mean, that's how wide open these races are. There's not a single. You're going to throw a single in there, but even if you go too deep in the ninth, that's a very realistic play on this ticket leading in, to the end of the weekend. Absolutely.
There we go.
It's that tough of a. I think it's that tough of a stretch.
It is, and we thought it was going to be attainable yesterday, but here we are today. We'll see if we can hold out until Memorial Day. That'll be quite fun. We'll find out. Race number 5 is a maiden claiming 12.5, 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the girls. 3, 4, and 5. Keith, you have the number 5 on top. This is going to be Stormy Irish Lass. This is Mackenzie's top selection as well, with the blinkers on for Annette Eubanks, with the weight off Andrea Chavez.
Yeah, you look at a 26 buyer, and you're like, well, that was as a 2-year-old, had time to mature a little bit, gets blinkers, gets Lasix. There's positives there. Some of these other horses are running in the mid-20s, and maybe you got an upper 30 on the off track for jobs not finished last time out.
Right.
But why not? Neolithica, Cappadocia, both of those horses have come back to run okay. We've got a video though.
We do have a video, and that is
job's not finished. Thank you.
Job's not finished.
Yes, a 7, and had that trouble early at Pimlico. Steady coming to the half-mile pole. We picked that up, kind of the lighter pink silks. Recovers. I like the way this one recovered. Duella 10. And this was on the Rays as well. That was the Nest runner who got it done at a short price. But look at this one through the stretch. Works outward about 4 wide, and just makes a good, steady progression. Yes, 0 for 15, knocking on the door. It looks like the form has improved. Gets back to a fast surface today. And if things get contested up front, which they could, I think you're going to have Peach Sweet Notion go. Diane will be close. Don't leave out a horse like Zolatone. If you're playing a bigger ticket, I know I don't have this in my top 4, but just a real question mark type of a horse.
Right.
There's lots of speed in this family on the main track. Had no chance, and it's only dirt try. Got checked at the brakes to throw that one out. But I do think this is another spread race. But I'll take a shot. Stormy Irish Lass to get that good stalking trip here with Chavez. I know Torrealba had his choice. He goes to Diane, an improving type. The blinkers have gone on for the last 2. A kind of stalk and pounce kind of trip again, I believe, for the 3. They ran into that headwind through the stretch. Early internals on the 14th were good for Diane. A little bit weary late. but had an excuse into that win.
Okay, there we have it. 5-7-3-1 spread race for Keith Fusel in race number 5. We will be right back after this commercial break to discuss the rest of Saturday's card. Getting back to race number 6, of course, in our jackpot super high 5 that did hit, as we discussed yesterday. Congratulations to the winning connections of that nice ticket with that nice pool. And we start fresh here. Mandatory payout on Monday, but it is in this allowance going 5 furlongs on the turf for these girls 3 and up. Scratching the 3 in her cup, scratch the 12, Lady Serenity. Let's go ahead and chat about your top selection of Pro Pros. This is going to be in the barn of James Toner, JJ Toner with Angel Cruz with the blinkers on as well.
Yeah, 2 tries on the turf, both long, both going 1 mile. Tampa, Keeneland, but against much, much better. Sneaky little moves within the race for Apropos. I like that, the blinkers going on. And talking about keys, I mean, multiple horses have come out to win, and they've been competing. I think one of them won a graded stakes race, a grade 3 up in New York. So I like the quality of runners, turning back in distance, Cruz to sit chilly. Plenty of flow in here. I think it's going to be honest. Fast line it. We know getting back here to Maryland with Hugh McMahon has run very well over this turf course. I'm definitely going to use her in the mix in my exacta. She's very quick. Call me Penny, quick. Maybe Davina Dolce on the outside. Apropos, I think she's got a chance to make a really strong surge into this pace.
The number 1 you go to Winked in your exacta for Ed Merriman. Forrest Boyce gets the call. You gotta love this filly on the turf.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, got that tightener on the main track. Didn't run terrible. Overland 4-6 wide, a little fade, but coming back, good races. King up against Maserati, that kind of runner. You know, she's going to just get that position. I don't think she's going to have to work terribly hard to get it. And then she'll have enough left for that last 1/8 of a mile.
And if she does get a little bit back, she's shown to go well on this 5 furlong distance at Pimlico. She had trouble previously back in June of last year, this same time last year. So things might head in the right direction, even if it's not in the right direction for Wink. The number 2, Wise and Elegant, another Jane Sibeli, Michael Sanchez combination. Let's take a look back at that last effort at Laurel Park.
Another one I think is going to like the speed. Lost all chance last time out at the break. Broke in, bump, might even have been a little bit fractious in there. I had to go back and check the extended video. But when you do that, got completely off of her game. But you go back at those races at Gulfstream Park, drum roll, admissible, they're the right kind. And I like her style because if she breaks, she's not going to be more than about 2 or 3 out of it mid-turn. She'll be sitting there locked and loaded to make a run into this pace. 8-1, 2-10, 10 to 1. How about this? Could be a real steal of a right there at the sale at Timonium, the winter sale there in December. 8,500 came back, flashed that speed, took back, made another run against an okay group. Caroline Christina, very sharp, and got the job done there in the new barn, I believe, wire to wire. But Nuwanda Lopez, again, going to have to avoid the wide trip. But turning back, she's going to bring a finish, I believe, in here. And don't, like I say, Fastlane is very quick. She's kind of that hard horse to figure. Sometimes she likes to drift all the way out in the track. She clears. She can be very dangerous. I'm going to definitely use her underneath. I like your 5 as well. Another,
Why
we
not?
talk about these races. What claim 7,500 in debut, then back for 15. Has run 3 very good races on the synthetic. Look at that family. It's a lot of turf. I'm sure you looked at it. Revelstoke topped it in 87, did the mare. Siblings have run okay. Kind of an unknown. You don't want to get beat out of this one in your exactas. I like how you've got that one in the mix.
Keith Fusel, 8-1, 2-10 with the 6 underneath Fastlani amongst his picks in race number 6. Let's go ahead to race at number 7. This is an allowance optional 55, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Keith, you have the number 8. Don't weigh it up, and this one certainly won't going right to the lead for Jamie Ness here with Jamie Rodriguez.
Yeah, we'll have to do. I don't know if he's as fast as Rominsky, if Rominsky really wants to go. But this guy has some speed. He beat a lesser group. But, man, how about the confidence? Claim for 17 out of an open. Back to the dirt, sent the dirt. found the condition. Nest, they find these conditions. He, Kieran, the whole mix of these claiming trainers, they do a great job doing that. This horse was dominant.
Right.
Absolutely dominant, pulled away. And when I went on the go back, I think this horse has the ability to pair up. I don't know if he's going to quite run what he just did. He's going to have to come close. But looking at that race off of a break at Indiana back in October, I'm sorry, was that the August race? No, the Bourbon.
October.
Yeah, Bourbon Heist. This is a horse that's come back to just win a 3 other than at Keeneland.
Okay.
Some good quality horses. This horse is run against on the go back that sharp. I think he shadows Rominsky, and we'll try to take it from there. But I tell you what, Rominsky, what a job Kieran has done for Tim Hopkins with this runner. Let's go to the video of Rominsky, and even classier. Kieran, both of these horses off the claim and return big dividends. This is the race back on April 27th. Rominsky on the lead. Classier right up. These two nose and nose past the 8th pole. Looked like Classier was going to get it done.
Right.
Hedge on by. Rominsky said, I'm going to battle back, and does so. Actually edges away a little bit late. Got away with a little softer opening quarter, 23-2 that day. Now, granted, we had the 0 run-up here at Pimlico, so you're not looking at 21-4, maybe 22-1. But I think he's going to get a little bit more attention with Don't Wait Up to his outside. 8-3, 5-7. Exculpatory, sneaky good the last 2 races with Lasix. He's going to be a good price. Jerry Robbarn heating up. An excuse last time out when caught very wide and a little bit of a bump. Had some contact going towards the turn.
There we go. I like that little catch, Keith, underneath at 8-1 on the morning line. 8-3, 5-7 in race number 7. Race number 8 is a maiden claiming 45 on the turf. A mile we go for the girls at 3, 4, and 5. Scratches in the 1, 3, 11, and 15 leave the 13 and the 14 run. Keith, you go with the number 5. This is dead sexy. I love this stab. Madison Myers, Angel Cruz. We got this one on the turf. This one comes out of a jump mare. This one screams that this one is going to love today.
Madison Myers with Desvio, right?
Desvio, yes. $79.40 winner.
Big number back on Preakness Day, but dead sexy. Again, this is just one of those races. A host of horses have to be used in your Rainbow Pick 6, your Pick 4s, you name it, Pick 3s, Pick 5s.
Yes.
Here I'm looking. I really like this Phillies debut run. I made a note of it. I said, take her, better back. Didn't run quite as well, I thought, second time out, but still willingly enough. But I said, target this horse moving to the turf. We're going to get it. This horse has a family of going long and being successful on the turf. The mare, multiple graded stakes place at 1.1 miles. I like the way this one's been managed. 2 sprints out to the mile turf. Steam Knot, maybe Top Dancer to kind of go on early. Tuck in, get some cover. I think Dead Sexy could be a factor, looming large at the quarter, and get it done at a big number again for Madison Myers.
Well, on top of that, you take a look at the fact that, hey, on the dirt, the wheels just may be churning a little bit. It just may be, spinning in one place. But then with the trouble and being able to come back off of that, that shows a propensity of a turn of foot that we might see later on the turf, which I fully expect out of this one. With the number 10 that you have underneath in Independence Way, Brittany Russell, Sheldon Russell, second-time turf starter. That's a step that's been raising up for this group.
Yes, and second time going long for any of these runners out of the Russell barn has been very strong the last couple years. Little bump last time out, settled back early, and I thought finished with pretty good interest behind Lutewarm. Steam Knot did all the work up front. Lutewarm came back to win an off-the-turf race, but Independence Way, the way this course has been playing second route angle, yes, I do think we'll run into the flow here. Magic in the Park, another user off the break, maybe a little question mark, but still the right kind of rider will get the right kind of trip. Last 8th, can she really sustain? But another tricky wide open race. I'm taking the flyer here with the 5 Dead Sexy Steam Knot Cake Stop Dancer. He'll be around a long way as well.
Kiss Me More, I think also that draws in very interesting. Gets Jamie Rodriguez. We're going to get an aggressive finish from this jock, which I think this one needs. And Tim Keefe, 4 for 19, first time routing as of lately.
Yeah, and even a horse like the 7 Crone will kind of maybe get lost in the shuffle. 8, 10, 12-1. Your Exactus tries and super. Okay, this mare, she's 17 starts, but she's hit the board 7 of those. Came back, needed that last race going short, had a little trouble, and still finished up with some good interest. So Lots of
Good
ways, as I
race.
say, to go in race number 8.
Absolutely. Race number 9 is an allowance optional 55 on the dirt for the girls, 3 and up, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt. Scratching the 6. I'm getting there. And we got a loose pony behind us.
Okay.
And let's talk about your top selection. Self-isolation for David Jacobson, Angel Cruz. Let's take a look at that effort 2 back, all the way back in November at Laurel.
Yeah, we're going off of a break here. Hasn't been seen since February, going a mile. I don't really know if that's her game. But this 6-year-old by Square Eddie, she's pretty good when she's right, fresh, and sprinting. Closes up very well here behind Whiskey and Rye. Gains 4 lengths to the final 1/8 of a mile. Whiskey Rye was just dead on her game that afternoon. I just think she comes back and catches the right kind of field. Could be fresh, could be sharp. Might have to take it right to Mystic Seaport. If you let this 4 go, it could be over. So I think she's going to be into the race early with Cruz and can stay around here off the shelf.
This is a filly that can handle pressure early on, so I can see that play absolutely. My flicker on the rail for Brittany and Sheldon Russell will not be playing that speed game. They're going to be sitting back, sitting chilly, waiting to strike later on.
Yeah, the first race off the claim, maybe, just no Lasix, didn't really fire. But the next 2 were very good against a good horse. That was the Everyone Loves Linda. I believe that's a Linda Rice runner. But she's going to sit chilly. If things heat up a little bit, she's the one that's got that serious run to go over the top late. Holding very good form here for the Russell Barn and Elkstone group.
There we go. 2-1-4-3 in race number 9. Race number 10, our finale here for Saturday, is a maiden claiming 12.5, going a mile and 16th on the dirt for the 3-year-old. Scratching the 3, Connectamundo. Scratching the 5, Minimo. Keith, you and I go with the number 7, Rudy. Yeah. This is in the barn of Rudy Sanchez Solomon with Yomar Ortiz.
Rudy. Yes, that's what we got here. And the blinkers came off cheek pieces last time out. And I thought this one, unfortunately caught Cavendish. That was a dropper for Brittany, but got a very good trip, was able to draft inside, worked outward through the stretch, finished up quite willingly just to be nabbed there for the place. Numbers, not quite lining up with the tops of under the overpass, but I think that little tweak second time in the barn, we're not going to get any kind of big price in the nightcap. I just don't see it. I mean, the one or the 2 would have to bring the big number. So, you're probably looking at that 9 to 5 kind of range for Rudy, but we shall see.
Okay, 7-4-6-2 for Keith Fusel. Keith, let's talk about your value play of the day, and of course that's going to be Dead Sexy for Madison Myers with Angel Cruz going long on the turf for the first time at 20-1.
Strong turf family.
Yes.
A lot of these horses, they've been knocking on the door. Some of them coming off of layoffs. I like the 2 sprints to the route here. This move for a barn that can score the price. We saw it evidence there with Desville on Preakness Day. What'd you say?
$79.40.
I'll take that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We'll take it to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches.
All right. Good luck.